his dad's death, then got with his cousin's husband. Wow. All right. Wow. I don't want to, it was difficult for me to not feel sympathy or empathy for Aaron Hernandez in light of this documentary, and watching it. And I know a lot of you say like, well, no, he's a killer, like whatever. I mean, he definitely displayed behaviors of a complete narcissist and sociopath. However, I think that he also was someone that had a lot of demons and a lot of unresolved, traumatic experiences happened to him. The molestation, what have you, the whole, was he gay? Was he not gay? I definitely was caught off guard with the friend who said that the quarterback friend who said that he and Aaron had a long-standing physical relationship, as well as the relationship between Aaron and the gentleman who turned out to be his assistant. He didn't really give much color or context in terms of, was their relationship physical or was it just platonic? Here's what I will say. I think that this is a must watch. I thought it was really interesting. And I thought that the people who, did an amazing job. I thought it was really good. But yeah, so what say you about it? If you haven't seen it, please, I encourage you to watch it. One of the most toxic things about it is the fact that, like, I'm watching it and I'm watching it with my good friend, my boo, and we're both gagging at how fine Aaron is and how good looking even his daddy was, his brother. He came from a really good looking family, and all of that to say he was still the killer, girl. So, all right. So listen, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and we are going to set the table for Destination Addiction. We'll be right back. And we are back. So this week, as I discussed earlier, we are setting the table for Destination Addiction. Now, for those of you who may not be aware of what destination addiction is, it's the idea that happiness will be found in the next place, the next job, or somewhere else, rather than in the present moment. Now, whatever you're doing, you're always thinking about what's coming next. You can't afford to stop because you always have somewhere else to be. You're always in a hurry, even when you don't need to be. You always promise the next year that you'll be less busy. Your dream home is always the next one that you plan to buy. You don't like your job, but you know what? It has good prospects for the future. You never commit fully to anything in case something better comes along. You hope the next big success will finally make you happy. You know that person. You always think you should be further ahead of where you are now. You have so many forecasts and projections and targets for your life that you can never truly be happy in what the present is. Now, from an addiction standpoint, no. It's not a true addiction as we know by the very definition of addiction to be. Addiction by its own criteria, apart from the idea of totally being preoccupied with a certain behavior, is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about basically the idea that literally you are one step away from the pursuit of happiness. There's no point of arrival. There's no point of actually getting anywhere because really what you live in is the hot pursuit of some extraordinary bliss that you really have no way in finding. the life is but a dream in the future somewhere idea is really appealing in this day and age. Destination addiction causes us to rush through as many experiences as quickly as possible. So you can always be like, you know what, been there, done that. You're always trying to chase your happiness through something else. For a lot of my creative friends, this could be the exploration of whatever creative endeavor that you're involved in. Just always thinking to yourself that the point of happiness for this particular project is going to be somewhere off in the future. I'll be happy when this photography takes off. I'll be happy when this music career actually lands itself somewhere. Surely your life can't always be about the end result. If it were, we would only read abridged novels. We would only attend the final act of a play, the last note of any song or symphony that we listen to. The best restaurant would only be about the end, the dessert. And yet our constant speeding through life means that we frequently run past golden opportunities for grace and betterment today. It's almost like we seek and we don't find. See, our destination addiction, a lot of times it works against us. However, because we are too busy running to be receptive, we just don't even have the time to acknowledge what happiness exists in the present. Hence, we always feel empty. The whole idea, or just another synonymous meaning behind destination addiction, is kind of correlated to your vision and your values. See, the trouble with destination addiction is that it focuses purely on finish, not on purpose. So to live conscious and mindful with purpose means to make the means to an end, right? But it also is the end to the means. Basically, for those who don't understand what that means, you're always trading some short-term gratification for an eventual fallout component. Listen, getting lost in destination addiction can really be easy. Like I said, during these Instagram ages where none of us are actually seeing the hard work and the actual journey that it takes to get anything of value, or what you may deem of value, you always only see the end result. So people think that there's only happiness when I get that big money, when I get that big job, when I go on this big trip. That's what's going to really soothe my soul. The problem with that is you don't get to enjoy the journey. You miss out on the purpose. Listen, I know life is but a dream, and we're always on to the next one. But what I want to encourage you for today as we set the table against destination addiction is that you understand that happiness is not at the next place. It's not at the next acquisition. It's not at the next drink. It's not at the next blunt. It's not at the next orgasm. It's not at the next ending of your meal. And it certainly isn't at the next 10-pound weight loss. Your mind has to get past always thinking that the grass is going to be greener on the other side. Do you ever just get depressed because you feel like you're just not living the life that you should live? And you fail to acknowledge the life that you have today? I want to encourage you as we go through this week to be mindful of destination addiction. And again, like I said, it's not addiction in the standpoint that we think about a repetitive behavior that serves us no real purpose. It's addiction to the feeling that something next is going to give you gratification. But if you are not finding happiness in the place that you currently are, the destination will make no difference. It is the journey that you need to be mindful of. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. I am going to be traveling next week, so I'm not sure if we are going to have an all new episode, but stay tuned and see. I'll keep you updated via social media. I love you so much for listening. Have a mindful week. Peace.